Caroline is a vintage car owned by the Ellsbridge Cricket Club. As she takes the cricketers to the various stadiums around the island, she enjoys the beautiful Sudbury countryside. But whenever they are late, they have to go fast, and poor Caroline doesn't like it one bit. It overheats her engine. One evening she received bad news from her master. "Due to your faults and costs, I'm going to sell you, unfortunately." Caroline was shocked. But who to? I can't tell you. It's a bit painful to me that you'll go to someone else. And he walked sadly away, leaving Caroline in thought. The next day, Caroline made her way to the bus depot to collect some fuel. Caroline's master is a good friend to the depot manager. Bertie could see Caroline looking very upset. "What's the matter, Caroline?" "I'm being sold, Bertie, but I don't know to who. I've been through so many thoughts lately that my master is low on money. I feel it's the scrapyard." Bertie laughed. "Don't be silly, Caroline. I've known your master ever since he was a young ticket collector. He has a heart for things like you, and I think scrapping is the very last thing in his mind." "I hope," sighed Caroline sadly. Later that day, Henry was waiting at the station with his coaches. He was taking a private charter. Meanwhile, Caroline's owner was waiting for his daughter and his family on Emily's local train. When she pulled into the station, he said hello to his daughter, son-in-law, and his granddaughter. They went to see Henry setting off, but as the three adults were chatting, the granddaughter waddled over towards an open carriage door. But as she clambered into the carriage, the porter banged the door, the guard blew his whistle, waved his green flag, and Henry puffed away. As the three adults saw the last coach leaving the station, the mother looked around and saw that her daughter wasn't there. "Honey, dealer's gone." "Where can she be?" Then realization hit them. "Henry!" They raced to Caroline in the car park. Caroline was surprised. What's the rush?" she asked. "My granddaughter's on Henry's train," said her master. Her engine started and they raced along the main road. They were gaining on Henry, but Caroline felt hot, but she didn't complain. They raced past Henry all the way to Wellsworth. But as they neared the bridge, "My engine!" she wailed. "We'll worry about that later. Right now I have to tell the sickman to stop Henry's train." His daughter and her husband stayed near Caroline. "Master doesn't care anymore. I'm useless." At last the message went through and Henry stopped. The daughter reunited with her parents and granddad, and everyone was happy. All except for Caroline. "Cheer up, Caroline, you'll be back as good as new," said her master. But Caroline wasn't so sure. The next week Caroline was fixed, but was very unhappy. "What's up, Caroline? This will be good for you." But all she did was a little "Humph." Her master sighed and drove her to a new owner. To her surprise, she found that her new owner has no scrap metal laying around. "What's this?" she gasped. Her master felt confused. I thought you knew." "No, you didn't. You haven't told me you sold me to a transport museum. I thought you were going to scrap me." "I would never do that ever in my life. You're very important to me, Caroline, along with my family. I sold you to the museum as they can care for you and maintain you betterly. I didn't tell you because I was worried at first they might stuff and mount you, but after a second phone conversation, they reasoned with me." Caroline grew a big smile that she hadn't pulled for days. "Oh, thank you, Master. You've done well for me, and I thank you." Now Caroline is very happy with her new life. She is only needed on special events or private functions. She still sees her now former master and his family, and ever since her ownership to the Transport Museum, she hadn't suffered a breakdown. Not once.